Alright, shalom, shalom. Alright, first and foremost, I'd like to begin by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makakadash. Alright, double honors to our elders and apostles and bishops of Great Minnesota, and shalom to all the brothers around the four corners of the earth, that teaching this good gospel and all sincerity and in all truth. Alright, shalom, this brother here, I'm here back with another video. Alright, and this video will be on, as you see the title will be Babylon the Great will be burned with fire. Or I might name it Babylon will be burned with fire, either one. Right? Because we see that, these prophecies are fulfilled, and we know that, once these few prophecies fulfill, the day of the Lord is going to come, and the Lord is going to come back, and burn Babylon with fire. Right? Because the day of the Lord, remember the day of the Lord as well. When the Lord comes back, on the day of his return, he's gonna come with fire, and he's gonna burn Babylon with our fire. Right? Babylon destruction, it's already determined. Babylon will be burned with fire. According to the Bible, according to prophecy, Babylon the Great will be burned with fire. We are sure about that. Right? There are some people thinking that this place will just continue and we'll live here years and years, and there are people who want this place to continue forever, and that is them. They are lost in the flesh, right? Because them want this place to continue forever, because they like this place, or would get in this place, right? The lust of the flesh, right? The Gaffy bands, well, these people really lost, because how them could want this wicked world to continue? But we know this world not gonna continue, because the prophets they're sighing and crying for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Ezekiel 9:4 going down. The Lord is gonna come back and slay utterly old, young, old maid, little children, all of them. So we know this place is not gonna continue, and we know Babylon the Great is not gonna be there forever. And Babylon the Great is destined for destruction, is destined for fire. So we're going to read Isaiah 63 and verse 1. The first precept we'll begin with. Right? Because when the Lord comes back, he's going to go straight to Babylon. Right? So Isaiah 63 and 1, it says, Who is this that cometh from Edom? Salakia. Who is this that cometh from Edom with thy garments from Bozrah? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. The Lord is going, when the Lord comes back, he's going to be traveling in them chariots, the greatness of his strength. Right? Because in 2 Ezra 13, you can read the account when we was touching on the last works Thursday, right? And the brother Kwana did mention it and read the precept for him. 2 Ezra 13 and 6 going down. Right? The chariot was so big that Ezra said he couldn't see the begin. Hey, that is how big the chariot of the Lord is gonna be. Right? That you can't see the beginning of it nor the end of it. It's gonna cover the whole face of the earth. Right? That is the fathership what the Lord is gonna come back with. Right? So it says, I read again, Isaiah 63 and 1. It says, Who is this that cometh from Edom with thy garments from Bozrah? Right? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Right? And the Lord is going to come back and save his elect. That is who is mighty to save. He is going to come back and save his elect. Right? Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treaded the wine fat. And when somebody treading the wine fat, and I'm reading the NLT, it says, Why are your clothes so red as if you've been treading out grapes? Because when the people who working in a grapes factory or something, I know what they will call it, or in a company that, making wine or something, that they tread the grapes. Right, you're red like you're treading the grapes, because I don't know much about what the tools they use or anything, but I know to make the wine that get like mash up the the grapes to get the juice out of it, to make the wine, and then it go make the clothes red from all the splash when they smashing it, right? So it says, why are your clothes so red as if you've been treading out grapes? And that's how it gonna be when the day of the Lord reach, and when the Lord returns, when the Lord returns and goes straight to Babylon. His clothes is gonna be like of him that treaded the grapes, right? Bloody. Whole garment gonna be bloody, right? Verse 3, I've trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in my anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. In the NLT, it says, I've been treading the winepress alone, no one was there to help me. In my anger I've trampled mine enemies as if they were grapes. In my fury I've trampled my foes, their blood shall stain my clothes. And this just is what gonna happen when the Lord returns. This is destined for Esau, Edom, and them. Like, remember, we dealing with going back to the topic. I was training a little bit. I started read, going down. But we just was supposed to read who's this that come from Edom, with their garments from Bozrah, right? That was Edom dwelling. What Edom dwelling? Babylon, right? Babylon. Right, so that is destined for them, for Esau, Edom, and them. They are destined to be destroyed. We see that, right? But remember, we dealing with Salakia, we dealing with Babylon, right? Who's this that comes from Edom, from the city Bozrah? Right, so let me get Revelation 18. Remember, we dealing with going back to the title of the lesson, Babylon the Great will be burned with fire. Right, or Babylon will be burned with fire. And that will be what we will go into Revelation 18 now for. So Revelation 18 and 1. Actually, I'll go straight to point 2. Right, Revelation 18 and 2, it says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Right? In the NLT it says, he gave a mighty shout, Babylon is fallen, that great city is fallen, she has become a home for demons, she is a hideout for every foul spirit, and a hideout for every foul vulture and every foul and dreadful animal. Okay, remember it talks about the same thing in Isaiah 13. Right, in the last couple verses in Isaiah 13. It talks about that same thing. Right? And we had to go to Isaiah 13 as well, because I was dealing with, Babylon destruction as well too. So Babylon the Great is fallen. For all nations have drunken of her wine, of the wrath of her, for fornicate. Salak. I read again. It says, for all nations have drunken of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And in the NLT it says, for all the nations have fallen because of the wine of her passionate immorality. The kings of the world have committed adultery with her because of her desires for extravagant luxury. The merchants of the world have grown rich. Because remember, it talks about the same thing when you read it down in I think it's Revelation 19 as well too. Because that's dealing with the destruction of Babylon the Great as well too. They are gonna look. No, I think it's the same chapter. Yeah, it's the same chapter. Yeah, it's the same chapter. Where they're gonna look afar and say, Babylon, is fallen. They're gonna cry because they're gonna. Actually, we go read all that. Right, we go read all that. Right. So let me just keep continuing, right? Because that's how these other nations and them get rich through Babylon, because they have all the they take all the resources, because it's Esau Edom ruling in Babylon. The heads on them is Esau on them. These heathens on them. And remember it says he enlarged his desires death and he is as hell. So you go to all the nations for the want of what I have the resource, not resources, like resources, right? The oil, the whatever it is, they want it, right? And Babylon, all Babylon is all about luxury and these different things. Could have people that when I was young, that you say they wanted to go to America, go to Babylon the Great, to live there, just to be there. That was some people's dream, to be in Babylon the Great, to be in America, to live that life, to live that luxurious life, right? So verse 4, it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues, because Babylon the Great is going to be punished, right? So the Lord is going to deliver his elect, right? Come, my people, out of her. I read in the NLT, it says, then I heard another voice calling from heaven, come away from her, my people, which will be the Lord's elect. Remember, the Lord is coming back to deliver his elect, the remnant, right? So it says, come away, come away from her, my people. Do not take part in her sins, or you will be punished with her. And some of the 2/3 of Israel will be punished with Babylon the Great, or in Babylon the Great. They are destined for fire as well, because the love that life they have in Babylon the Great, right? They love it, they love the life, and they get lost in the flesh, because Babylon, America have so much of Babylon the Great. They have so much of things for you. They offer you so much of things. It have some people into cars, have some people what a specific job in Babylon the Great, who want to be a pilot, who want to be this, who want to be that, and Babylon the Great could offer you all of that. All of that. Right? And these 2/3 of Israel, they get lost in it, and that's why some of the 2/3 of Israel are gonna be in that fire. I didn't say I should have never say some. The 2/3 of Israel will be a part of that fire. But once there's a 2/3, they will be destroyed, and they will come back in the kingdom, balls back Israelites. Right? Because only the 1/3 will be saved. So all the 2/3 of the Lord's people will die by the sword, right? And that is why a lot of 2/3 are gonna die, because they get lost in the flesh. They get lost, and the take what Babylon had offer them, and they're running with that, and they get lost in the flesh, right? So verse 5, it says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh had remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her cup, according to her works in the cup which she had filled to her double. And the NLT, it says verse 5, for her sins are piled as high as heaven, and Yahweh remembers her evil deeds. Were the rulers of Babylon the Great, what they would have done to his people, right? What they would have done to his people, oppressing his people. So Lord, remember her iniquities, and Babylon the Great will be burned with fire. Do to her as she has done to others, double her penalty for all her evil deeds. She brewed a cup of terror for others, so brew twice as much for her. And that's why Babylon the Great, will be destroyed for evil deeds, things which she have done to people, right? The Lord's people as well, right? Verse 7, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow gave her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that is the pride, right? How they could say that through the heads in Babylon the Great, the rulers, right? 'Cause it all goes back to the heads and the rulers. That's what they say, right? Verse 7 in the NLT, she glorified herself and lived in luxury. And we could see Babylon the Great is all about luxury, right? So much it now with torment and sorrow. She boasted in her heart, I am no queen on my throne. And that would and we see that Babylon, they are all about pride, the rulers and them, right? And make America great again and all kind of nonsense. And Babylon the Great will not be fallen, and these kind of nonsense they will say. But we know that Babylon the Great will be fallen, or will get destroyed. She boasted in her heart, I'm no queen, I'm a queen, so like I'm a queen on my throne, and I'm no helpless widow. I have no reason to mourn, and Babylon the Great will mourn. And her partners, I have to say like that, her partners, can remember it says the kings and the kings of the earth have committed adultery with her. Her partners, all the other nations and them that would have, been at the side of these different things, or would have came to America for the want of this, for the want of that. Can you remember? It says she had lived deliciously. So they will have the things of the flesh, all the things pertaining to the flesh, right? So they have no reason to mourn, but they are going to mourn. And that's why going down and go see that all who was hand in hand with, basically I had to say like that, all who was join in hand with America, they are gonna mourn. They're gonna look afar off and mourn, right? Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai power who judges her. That is who judging Babylon the Great, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? In the NLT it says, therefore these plagues will overtake her in a single day. Because it's going to be in a single day, and it's going to be for 1 hour. And the Lord is going to make, just for that 1 hour, the Lord is going to make that land desolate. Satyrs and wild creatures and vultures will dwell there. After that, we still have to go to the Isaiah 13. Right? Because that's dealing with, the destruction of Babylon the Great as well too. Right? Death and mourning and famine, she will be completely consumed by fire. For the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai power who judges her is mighty. Now he says mighty to save. Remember, we now read it in the Isaiah 63. He's mighty to save. So we see that the Lord is mighty, and he's gonna come and destroy Babylon the Great, right? And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of burning. The smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And I'll stop right there, because like the part we wanted was talking about, right, in the NLT. And the kings of the world who have committed adultery with her and enjoyed her great luxury, or Babylon could have offered them, right, join hand with them, will mourn for her, right, as they see the smoke rising from her charred remains. Because they're going to see the destruction of Babylon the Great. All who have committed fornication with her and lived deliciously with her, they're going to see the destruction of Babylon the Great. Right, all the people, all the ships that would have come to get food or to get this or to get that, because a lot of things for America is shipped all around the world, right? All around the world. If you're going in local Trinidad here, you could go in a like a store like Marcy's store, Marcy's store. I went there just yesterday, and it have fruits and these different things that came from America, or that is shipped from these different countries and came here, and some of them is from America. So, when you read lower down and all to it, all who would have joined hand in her to buy to get the things to ship it all across the world. All of them are gonna mourn. Babylon the Great is fallen, and it has nobody to buy off of them. And they have no more Babylon to buy off from too as well. Remember, they join hand in hand. So Babylon will buy from them and they will buy from Babylon. So no more Babylon, they're gonna weep and mourn for her. Oh my word. Right? So verse 10 in the NLT says, they will stand at a distance, terrified by her great torment. They will cry out, how terrible for you. Because they're gonna see how great, and they're gonna see that great destruction of Babylon the Great. Oh Babylon, you great city, I mean, in a single moment, Yahweh's judgment came on you. And the Lord's judgment is gonna come on Babylon the Great. We know this according to the scriptures. Right? So I gotta go to the Isaiah 13 now. Isaiah 13 and verse start at 1. Isaiah 13 and 1, it says, the burden of Babylon which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. In the NLT says, Isaiah the son of Amos received this message concerning the destruction of Babylon. So you see that Babylon is gonna be destroyed. Verse 2, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Right? I've commanded my sanctified ones, I've also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. Right? In the NLT verse 2, raise a signal flag on a bare hilltop, call up an army against Babylon, wave your hand to encourage them as they march into palaces on the high of the high and mighty. I, the Lord Yahweh Shai, have dedicated these soldiers for this task. Yes, I've called my mighty warriors to express mine anger, and they will rejoice when I am exalted, because the Lord is going to be exalted on that day. Because Babylon the Great is going to fall. Because that day, the day of the Lord, you hear why it's called the day of the Lord? Because it's the day of the Lord, the glorious return of our Lord and Savior Yahushua Mashiach. That's going to be someday. And we're waiting for that day patiently. We have to wait patiently for that day. Because Lord willing, we be a part of the Lord's elect. We'll be exalted on that day as well too. Right? Verse 4, the noise of the multitude in the mountains like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered the hosts of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. What land? Babylon the Great. Verse 4 in the NLT, it says, hear the noise on the mountains, listen as the vast armies march. It is the noise and shouting of many nations. The Lord Yahweh Shemeshai of heaven's armies has called this army together. Verse 5, they came from distant countries, from beyond the farthest horizons. Horizons. They are the Lord's weapons to carry out his anger with them. He will destroy the whole land. Okay, remember these nations and them, these nations and them that that would have been hand in hand with Babylon and these different things, they are gonna turn against us. Right? The beast and the whore, which is Babylon the whore, which is Babylon the Great, all these nations and them can turn against Babylon and strike her as well too. So, and it's the Lord who making this plan out, who playing this plan out. Because all the kings, heart is in the hand of the Lord, not just the king, all the kings. The king of Iran, the king of Babylon, the king of Russia, the king of Ukraine, the king of wherever country would it be, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Every move they make, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. and they will destroy the whole land, and that's Babylon the Great. Because all of them is going to turn against Babylon and shoot at her, fire at her. Verse 6, Holy for the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shemeshah is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. The NLT, screaming terror, for the day of the Lord has arrived, the time for the Almighty to destroy. And he's not going to just destroy Babylon alone. Not just Babylon alone is going to be destroyed. Our homeland will be destroyed as well, will be burned with fire. Because the abominations, them fake Jews over there doing. Our land is going to be burned with fire and will be built back over again. But what land is not going to be built back and people are going to live there again? Babylon. And here there's the part here, right? Isaiah 13 and 20 says, It will never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And I'll read in the NLT. It says, Babylon will never be inhabited again. It will remain empty for generation after generation. Nomads will refuse to camp there, and shepherds will not bed down their sheep. Desert and animals will move into the ruined city, and the houses will be haunted by howling creatures. Owls will live among the ruins, and wild goats will go to dance there. Right? So we see that Babylon the Great is gonna be destroyed, and no man is gonna live there or pitch tent there, as it says. Nobody's gonna be there. There's doleful creatures and vultures and all these different animals. So Babylon the Great is gonna be destroyed. We see that according to scripture. Alright, so I'll close it off there, right? So hopefully this lesson was edifying. To the Lord's elect, giving all praises, all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kadash. Alright, double honors, to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the Lord's elect, Shalom, Labakariam, and death to this wicked place. Shalom to the elect. And as I always say, brothers, 1 Corinthians 15:58. Always abounding in work of the Lord, Yahweh Shemeshai, because your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Alright, brothers, stay strong and shalom. Until the next.